Tim Salady is going to be our guest at the bottom of the hour. He's an avid conservative grassroots activist. His current mission is reviving his fellow citizens' passion for American patriotism. And he heads up AmericaFirstMovement.com that Roger Stone and some of the Trump folks, everybody says, is really one of the best organizations out there. And they've organized in Cleveland, first Stop the Steal demonstration, but now that they backed off that, at least on the surface, they're still going to try it, watch. Having folks come out and just demonstrate with the First Amendment and support of the electoral process, just a free speech rally / victory rally. The DNC is going to be having those. Oh, but Cleveland's trying to restrict the time and put people miles away. The ACLU has come out and said, this is onerous, this is wrong. And they want folks to sign on who are going to be part of a lawsuit. And they've asked me to be part of that. I'm certainly happy to be a plaintiff in that. I intend to be there. It's a rally that I started organizing 6 months ago with Roger Stone. So Tim is working on that. After he leaves us, I'm going to get into the latest on Russia. Says it might now, or NATO says it might now have grounds to attack Russia. We've got more publications coming out saying repeal the Second Amendment, not just Rolling Stone. We have hackers release secret Clinton docs from State Department, DNC's Trump opposition file donor list. We have just a lot of really important news we're going to be getting to. Trump may launch his own cable network to counter all this. Well, you know they're going to try to send in the Federal Elections Commission and claim that that's political speech and you can't have it. But I say under free speech, let them have it. I mean, the globalists, all these foreign interests own media and sit here and bombard us with political news. They just claim it isn't. I say free for all. We got the Saudis and the communist Chinese funding Hillary. I mean, give me a break. He can have a cable network. Here's the article we wrote. Cleveland to ban Trump supporters outside RNC. Democratic city fueling anti-Trump protests to make Hillary look good. And so, Tim, thank you for joining us. Citizensfortrump.com, patrioticwarriors.com. Tim, what do we need to do to make sure? I mean, obviously, everybody should just show up regardless. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to exercise my First Amendment. I mean, is that accurate? What should we do?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Alex. I appreciate it.
You bet.
So, yeah, I mean, again, we first started out trying to have a rally of sorts to protest the RNC stealing Mr. Trump's nomination. And after we seen that wasn't going to happen, of course, we just wanted to have a celebratory parade and a rally. But unfortunately, the city of Cleveland not only delayed our permits forever in a day, they also reissued new parameters, of course, as you know. Now, as of just a day or so ago, they have approved a bunch of permits. Funny enough, ours isn't on that approval list. All of them are leftist or communist or anti-Trump groups. So we're still sitting here, even though we're the top plaintiff on the lawsuit against the city. They haven't even bothered to respond to me personally or the law team. So at this point, we don't know what we're doing. But you're right. A lot of people are still going to show up. But unfortunately, the city has made three convergent points that are very, I would say are a scenario for violence to happen.
Well, Tim, it's just incredible. It's a First Amendment issue. I know the police are supportive.
Yes.
And then you're going to have the Black Lives Matter group, the communists, the Soros groups being able to do whatever they want. But here's the RNC. Trump's inside. People are trying to organize something outside, and they're saying no. I hope Trump gets involved in this, not just the lawsuit. But let's talk about the technicals, the history of this, the lawsuit, and where it's going. And I want to tell viewers and listeners, I'm going to be there even more now. I know as libertarians or conservatives or folks, we don't want to go just stir up trouble like a bunch of communists. But they're violating our rights, saying only communists can basically march. In America, we have to take our free speech and our First Amendment back.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And, again, with them only approving all the left wing, so to speak, or anti-Trump groups at this point, one, is adding a little bit more validity to our free speech being violated. And secondarily, again, it's a recipe for disaster. You have to understand that these groups are coming not, to peaceably protest. They're coming to protest in the same fashion they did in California, New Mexico, and a few other places. So we know that the city has taken out a massive insurance policy. And what does that mean? Well, I love the police department and all, but what it does mean is that no matter what happens there, it's going to be covered under that insurance policy. So, I'm not saying that the police are going to conduct themselves in any less professional manner, But, you know, there's a big difference when you're personally responsible and liable for your conduct as opposed to being covered under a blanket insurance policy.
Well, there's a big problem here in that clearly they're saying we're going to let the leftists run around and do whatever they want, but we're not going to allow citizens out here that support Trump, who are the vast majority of people, obviously. So this is just incredible discrimination. Wow, they're arrogant. I didn't know about the new development that they've given the permits to all the Democrat groups, but not to the pro-Trump group. That's crazy.
None, not, you know, and again, we had the biggest rally planned that you know, the city had seen. You know, they even told me, wow, it's unheard of to plan a celebratory rally of this size for an RNC event like this. But with that said, I guess the point I was making earlier is that we can go and show up, but understand this: if we don't get a permit, all the leftists will have a permit. All of us who are pro-Trump, and you know, we represent several surrogates.
No, obviously we want to get the permit to really have everybody together and show it. But if not, have Rolling Thunder in, take over the streets. We'll outnumber them 5-1, and it'll be huge.
Yes, and we probably will do so. But again, unfortunately for us, is that the police will be on the side of the people with permits. If you follow what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So we need to try to do this, but at the same time, that's their problem. If the city's corrupt and does that, we have to go ahead and go forward, as you said.
I've been told the city won't arrest anybody for being in the street specifically. They won't enforce that. But, you know, that, you know, remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, I know truckers for Trump, bikers for Trump, Tea Partiers, students, women for Trump. A lot of them people are still going to come. You know, I know Roger's going to be there. We're going to be there. Diamond and Silk. We're going to be reporting from inside, you know, the convention as well. But at the end of the day, we're going to formulate a plan. We're going to give the city a couple more days to see if maybe they're trying to accommodate us, and that's to delay. But I've got a feeling that you're correct. They absolutely are going to try to make a mockery of us coming, one, and not allow us to be there legally, too.
Well, the good news is, as you know, Tim, they can claim that Trump people started the riot in Chicago. They can claim that Trump people did the stuff in Albuquerque or L.A. or wherever. All of it's bull. The internet and real media is bigger than the corporate media, the establishment media. The lies don't work. And when it's going to come out that the Trump people weren't given their permits, they weren't given their place, they were told they could be on the other side of the moon in a free speech zone, and they're not putting up with it, and it's going to blow up in their face yet again. And then when the Trump people are calm and nice, and the anti-Trump people act like a bunch of idiots, it'll only blow up in their face that much better. I think the best thing Trump ever does is hang out in places like, you know, New Mexico and California, where some of these crazy leftists are, just to show what morons they are.
Well, exactly. And here's the other side of it. A lot of people would tell me, and I agree to a degree, you know, maybe we should tell everybody not to go so there is no bloodshed, so there is no issue. But on the flip side of that is, you know, again, I think you're right. If we outnumber them 5-1, we've seen in the past where wherever they congregate, Black Lives Matter or other anti-Trump or racist groups like that, and when we outnumber them, like with Bikers for Trump, they typically back down and run with their tail tucked scared. So there is that.
Well, that's right. We have the numbers. We have the truth on our side, and we have the First Amendment on our side. And so this is just another arrogant attempt. If we give into this, pretty soon we'll be banned everywhere. And then it's over. I mean, that's what they want. They want to come shut down the rallies. They want to stop Trump from speaking. They want to keep people from coming. It's not worked. So I say, round of applause for the First Amendment and the American people standing up, and especially to all of the Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, and others that I've seen in many areas who are like 30, 40, 50% of the folks going in being yelled at and screamed at by the anti-Trump people, you know, standing up to that type of bullying. I say bravo.
The abuse has been, I mean, unprecedented just because of our choice of candidate. And on top of that, you know, I find it very interesting, and it's heartbreaking that an attack such as the one that just happened, you know, is what it takes to bring, you know, the issue forward. But, you know, we've got a problem, you know, with, you know, a lot of different things. And Mr. Trump is right when it comes to vetting who's coming into this country. So, you know, again, attacks that happened just the other day are going to continue to happen if, you know, if we don't do something about it.
Well, Tim, other angles to this, obviously if folks are on the East Coast or in the Midwest, you know, they're going to be pretty close to Cleveland. They need to be there. Obviously, a lot of folks are worried about housing and things. Even if you stay 20 miles away and, you know, drive in and are there just at a few key events, you don't have to be there the whole 3 or 4 days. It's important just to show up, just to document, not even to wear a Trump shirt, but to videotape and get this footage out so people can see exactly the type of ignorant folks that are against the First Amendment.
Yes, I mean, again, if we don't show up there and to document it, if we don't show up at least to give our free speech, to stand up for our free speech, then, we do ourselves a disservice. I mean, if we're patriotic warriors, then we need to stand up for that because, again, you're right. This could disappear on us pretty quick if we don't stand up for ourselves. And this is one of the reasons I joined on with the ACLU, and I thought that was an interesting fact that they wanted to sue the city. But, again, we have to do something about it. If we don't, if we just lay down and we let the other agenda win, so to speak, the leftists, the Black Lives Matter people, and all the other groups that are trying to, trend what America thinks, so to speak, then we've lost. We lost already.
Timothy Salati, am I pronouncing that right, sir?
Yeah, Salati.
Salati, okay. And that's citizensfortrump.com, citizensfortrump.com. I want to ask you a question here in the break, and we may come back with you, but I've got one more question for you.
I train hard. I work hard. I'm always looking for the best way to be the best version of myself. During Special Forces selection, it's not like you could ever take the easy road. You can't take steroids to make, being a Special Forces operator easy. I'm always looking for the best and natural way to get myself to the limit. That's the idea of getting in there and doing real hard work, is changing who you are, becoming better, stronger, faster, and ultimately harder to kill. I have to have the edge over my opponents. I believe that InfoWars products, Super Male Vitality, that gives me the edge. I've been taking it, and I'm still getting faster and stronger every day.
Start your journey to Super Male Vitality today at InfoWarsLife.com.